Hi, ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Forex Outlook with Charts Engineering Pro. We really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video, and we do not take it for granted at all. If you haven't yet subscribed or you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content we post here. And if you also find value with what we share here, be sure to like, drop your comments, share this video to your fellow traders or anyone who would find this information useful. We'll also drop a link to the free Telegram group where we'll be sharing updates of these setups as the week unfolds. So without wasting much time, let's have a quick recap of last week's setups discussed in our previous video before we dive into next week's analysis. So stay tuned. This is EURGBP. Last week, this was one of the trades we missed. We had a couple of trades we missed, about I think 7 pairs, or about six or seven pairs, which we missed out on last week, and I'm going to share a few of them in this video. So this is EURGBP. So last week we anticipated, or we were expecting, we had this the triple top or double top formation right here. So we're looking forward to a retest of this neckline to give us an entry to take this sell. But when price opened, or the market opened last week, we had a gap which took the market to the downside, and we never had a pullback back into the entry area for us to take this trade. So we missed out on this 7RR, I think a 7% trade, and we missed out on this. We couldn't catch it. It was a very nice drop from where we anticipated that we were going to get our entry from. So we just have to move on to the next. We have here US30, US32. We missed out on this position. I think the move happened during Asian session or something like that. So we're expecting price to break or close below, get a daily candle closure below this area of interest, and we got a pullback back into to retest the neckline of the possible head and shoulder formation, which is this was a head and shoulder formation. This is the left shoulder, this is the head, the right shoulder is right here, and then we're looking for it to a continuation. So this was the actual move we're looking out for. So price came back for a retest, and when the retest happened, we didn't get an entry confirmation. So then the retest was around here, and there was no entry confirmation here for us to take our sell. And price started moving, I think, around the Asian session, and it started dumping, and then it went all the way to our desired TP, and we couldn't catch this position as well. So I think a similar thing also happened on S&P500. So we're going to look at that as we proceed or advance in this video. We also have EURGBP. So EURGBP, last week we anticipated that price was going to pull back into this area of interest to give us a selling opportunity. Price gapped here during the market opening and came to the TP, hit the TP, and pulled back all the way to the area of interest we're looking out for. And we still didn't get an entry confirmation around this zone for us to take our trade to the downside, and price just kept melting down to hit our TP. We missed out on this nice trade as well. And a similar thing also happened on NZDCAD. So last week we anticipated that price was going to pull back we had a double top formation right here, and we're anticipating that price was going to break, come for a retest around this zone or a little bit higher, and give us selling opportunities. Price pulled back, and there was no entry confirmation. It just kept playing around, and then price just kept tanking. So we couldn't get any selling opportunity to catch this trade as well. But since price has not yet gotten to its desired TPs, you can be looking out for selling opportunities to these various TPs we have below here. So since the move has not completed, we can still be looking out for selling opportunities to the downside to hit this ultimate TP at around 0.45. So let's see what we have for the economic calendar for the coming week. So in fact, on Sunday, the daylight time is going to shift for CAD and USD. So we're going to advance. I think we're going to have a +1 on the time. So on Monday, Monday and Tuesday, there's no high impact news on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to have the CPI for USD. On Thursday morning, we're going to have the Bank of England's governor speak, and also we're going to have the unemployment claims for the USD later in the day. On Friday, we're also going to have the GBPJPY and also the unemployment change for CAD, which is more like the NFP for the Canadian dollar. And we're also going to have the USD core PCE price index, and then the prelim GDP and job openings. So let's take note of these high impact news for the coming weekend. As we know, the escalation of the war in the Middle East, this is also stirring up or creating a lot of volatility in the market. So let's look out for that. We might have strange moves or markets moving all over the place. So let's take note of that if we are taking our positions in the market. So let's see the setups we have for this week, and then take advantage. Let's see if we can take advantage of them as they unfold. This is DXY. So last week we identified this cup and handle formation. Price broke out nicely with a gap at the market's open. I think the retest happened so fast. Yes, so after it gapped, this was the retest, and price just kept moving or just going up. So we couldn't catch this position, or it was so swift and we missed out on it. So going forward into next week, what we'll be looking out for, if you look at it, if you look at DXY on the weekly perspective, weekly has shifted bullish, and then daily has also shifted bullish. So we'll be looking out for the price. We are anticipating the price is going to buy all the way to this resistance before we can see any strong reactions to the downside. So we're looking out for buying opportunities to the upside for DXY. If I drop down to the daily time frame, going into next week, this is what we'll be looking out for. We'll be looking out for a possible pullback. We're looking forward to a possible pullback into this zone. Look for buying opportunities to the upside. So we are bullish on the DXY, which means all XXX USD pairs are going to sell, and all USD XXX pairs are going to buy. So let's take note of this for DXY for the coming week. If you're looking forward to this pullback back into the area of interest, to look for buying opportunities to the upside for DXY. We have here EURUSD. So we had this position from the last two previous episodes where we took a buy, and then when markets opened, we got this SL. Our SL got hit. So let's get rid of this, since we have a new outlook for the coming week. So going into next week, we're looking forward to a possible pullback, possible pullback to around this zone. Then we'll be looking out for selling opportunities to these various TPs we have below. Should price give us a reaction from where we are, where we initially were anticipating we're going to get some bullish moves from, should we get any nice reversal pattern, or should price give us any indication that we want to go the opposite direction, then we're looking out for reversal patterns around this zone and look for buying opportunities to these targets we have above. And so this is all for EURUSD for the coming week. So let's look out for first of all, look out for the pullback back into this area of interest, and then look forward to selling opportunities to the downside. We have here GBPUSD. So initially we were anticipating that price is going to buy from either this zone or this second zone below. Price has made its way to the second zone and is giving us a reaction similar to what we had on EURUSD. We are also going to be looking out for a pullback into this zone and look for selling opportunities to the downside. That's going to be our first bias for GBPUSD. Should price pull back to the second zone above, we'll still be interested in looking for the sales to the downside. But if we get a nice reversal pattern around this area, we can risk it and take the buy. But the bias is more of a bearish sentiment than a bullish sentiment. So we're going to look out for the bearish side first, then we see how price unfolds or the market unfolds for the week. We have the USDCAD. USDCAD has been playing some games, and I think the Canadian dollar is gaining strength due to the strength in or let's say the hike or spike in crude oil prices. So the Canadian dollar is gaining so much strength. I mean, last week we identified this head and shoulder formation. It was a very nasty reversal though. So this was the head and shoulder formation. This was the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. So we're waiting for a retest of the neckline to give us a selling opportunity. Price overshot the head and shoulder formation give us a nice rejection in the zone. Still in the zone, we're looking out for the selling opportunity and started selling. So going into next week, what we'll be looking out for is a possible pullback back into this area of interest. So we'll be looking out for a possible pullback into this area of interest to look for selling opportunities to complete this harmonic pattern we identified weeks ago. So this is the harmonic pattern that is being formed. It's a butterfly pattern. So we are yet to reach our potential reversal zone, which is down here. So it will be expedient of us to look for selling opportunities instead of buying opportunities. So we're going to wait for the pullback into the area of interest and look for selling opportunities to complete this harmonic pattern we have here. Should price find its way to break above this zone, then we're looking out for the bullish side of things for USDCAD. We have a USDJPY, and USDJPY is forming a harmonic pattern, which is also, I think, a butterfly pattern. And this is the pattern that is developing. This is our X, this is our A, this is our B, this is our C leg, and we are waiting for the completion of the D leg. So this is the potential reversal zone, or the ultimate target we are looking out for this pattern, which is the butterfly pattern on USDJPY. So going into next week, what we'll be looking out for is a possible pullback into this area of interest. We'll be looking out for a possible pullback into this area of interest. We look for buying opportunities and we take our buys to the upside. This is our ultimate target, but our first target is going to be this TP, and our second target is going to be the potential reversal zone for this butterfly pattern, or the completion of this butterfly pattern. So this is what we have for USDJPY. Should price find its way to break this zone or clear these lows, then we know that we are going to bearish. But until then, we are very bullish for USDJPY for the coming week. This is GBPJPY. So GBPJPY has given us a reaction from an area of interest, and price pulled back to retest these structures, or daily structures we have here, and it's giving us a reaction also, and we can see a daily structure shift here also. So going into next week, what we'll be looking out for is a possible pullback into the area of interest to look for buying opportunities to the upside. This will be our very first target, and our second target, this will be our first target, and our second target is above. Our second and third targets are above here. So if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see we are developing a possible harmonic pattern on GBPJPY. So this is our X, this is our A, this is our B leg, this is our C leg, and we are looking forward to a continuation of this potential harmonic pattern, which is either a Gatwick pattern or a potential crab pattern, which is all the way here. So we are very bullish on GBPJPY. So all we are waiting for is a possible pullback into the area of interest and look for buying opportunities to the upside. So we are very bullish on GBPJPY. We also have a CADJPY. CADJPY is extremely bullish also. So what we are going to be looking out for is a possible pullback into this very first area of interest. Should we get buying confirmations from here, we'll be glad to take our buys to the upside. This will be our first target, and our second target will be above here. And should price also pull back into the second area of interest we have below, we will still be interested in looking for the buying opportunities to the upside. So we are extremely bullish for CADJPY for the coming week. Should price break below this zone and clear these lows here, then we know that we have shifted bearish for CADJPY. Until then, we are extremely bullish for the coming week. We have here AUDJPY. We had this setup, I think, from last week, and price has retested or reacted from our area of interest right here. So we are waiting for this daily structure shift right here. Should we get a daily candle close above this daily structure or break this daily structure, come for a possible pullback, we look for buying opportunities and take it to the upside. So we are very bullish on AUDJPY as well. So these are various targets we have for this position. If we are able to capitalize on this move, these will be our targets. Or should we get a structure shift, or let's say should we get a 4-hour structure shift or a 4-hour candle close above this 4-hour structure, and we get a pullback and we get a buying opportunity, we'll be glad to take the buys to the upside for AUDJPY. Sorry. This is EURGBP. So EURGBP, last week we were looking forward to a possible harmonic pattern formation where we anticipated that this was going to be X, A, B, and a possible C leg formation, and then we have a continuation to the upside. But going back, we realized there was a strong resistance here, which price has also reacted from strongly. So as we speak, EURGBP is very neutral. So what we are going to look out for is these are the possible scenarios we're going to have. If we get a reversal pattern within this area of interest, if we get a buying confirmation around this area of interest, then we'll be looking forward to take these buys to the upside. This is our first target, our second target, and I think we have a third target above. Yes. And should price also pull back? Should price also pull back to retest this daily structure? Should price pull back all the way to retest this daily structure we have here, or pull back a bit higher to give us a possible a possible lower high formation, then we would rather look out for the bearish side for EURGBP than the bullish side. So if we are to go bearish, these are our various targets. This is our TP1, and this will be our TP2 for EURGBP. So we have to be patient to see how price unfolds or price develops, then we can take our decision whether to go bullish or to come bearish. So it's either we retest this daily structure or we come all the way to the area of interest to get a selling opportunity or a possible C leg formation to the downside. So we are very neutral on EURGBP. We just have to be patient to see how price unfolds. We have here GBPNZD. We've had this position for weeks now, and so we are still waiting for a possible reaction from any of these areas of interest. Should price react or give us a reaction from here or selling confirmation from here, we'll take ourselves to the downside. Should price also pull back to the zone above, the second zone above, and give us selling confirmations, we'll still be glad to take ourselves to the downside. This is only going to shift bullish if we are able to validate this area of interest and we continue to the upside. So we are very bearish on GBPNZD for the coming week. We just have to be patient to see how price unfolds or see how price is going to react in any of these two zones before we take our decision. We have here GBPCAD. So we missed this trade, this position to last week. We were looking for a possible pullback around this zone to take ourselves to the downside. When markets opened, price just gapped and we never had that pullback. And if we look at this, we can see we are developing, or price is developing a possible head and shoulder formation, which is a very clean one. And we are going to, all we are going to wait for now is a possible pullback to retest the neckline and take ourselves to the downside. So this is the head and shoulder that is developing. So this can either be your left shoulder or this can also be your left shoulder. So whichever way you want to pick it. We are taking this as our left shoulder. This is going to be our head. This is going to be our left shoulder. And we are looking forward to a continuation to the downside. So all we have to do is be patient and see and wait for price to retest the neckline to give us a selling opportunity to the downside. So we are very bearish on GBPCAD. Should price also pull back a bit higher to the zone, the second zone above, we will still be interested in looking for the selling opportunities to the downside for GBPCAD. We also have the NZDCAD, which we missed. We missed this trade, so this was what we anticipated last week. So last week we were expecting that price was going to close, or we were expecting to get a daily candle closure below this structure we have here, and price should come for a possible retest into the area of interest to give us a selling opportunity. But when markets opened, they just gapped and never came back. Other than that, we would have gotten our entry at the retest here and targeted the targets we have below. As we can see currently, price has hit the very first target. So what we'll be looking out for is another selling opportunity around this area of interest. So going into next week, we are looking for a possible pullback into this area of interest we have here. We're looking for a possible pullback into this area of interest, and we look for selling opportunities to the TP, the second TP we have below. So we are very bearish on NZDCAD, and also considering the strength of CAD, we are more likely to go down than to go up on NZDCAD. for the coming week. We also have your AUDCHF, and AUDCHF, this is a shark pattern formation. So this is the harmonic pattern that developed. This is the X, this is the A, this is the B leg, this is the C leg, and this is the D leg. So this is the completion of a shark pattern for the AUDCHF, and as we can see right here, where we have our potential reversal zone, we have a nice daily structure shift here, which is indicating bearishness for AUDCHF. So this is where we have the daily structure shift. So what we are going to wait for is a possible pullback into this area of interest to look for selling opportunities to the downside. So these will be our targets for this sell move. If we are able to catch it, these two targets are going to be our targets. So let's be on the lookout for AUDCHF on the bearish side for the coming week. This is gold. So we had two weeks ago, or two previous episodes, we anticipated that price was going to, I think when price was around this side, we were expecting a possible pullback into this area of interest to give us buying opportunities to the upside. Price continued and later dumped back into the area of interest we were expecting it to come to before going up. And as we can see currently, we are having a nice reaction from the zone. So if we go to the daily time frame, we have a daily structure shift right here, and I think it will be good for us to rather wait for the 4-hour structure shift, then we can take our decision. So going into next week for gold, we are looking for it to a possible 4-hour structure shift here, a 4-hour structure shift here. We get a possible higher low formation, then we look for buying opportunities to the upside. So this is what we'll be looking out for gold for the coming week. So we already have our 4-hour structure here, which we are expecting or looking for it to a 4-hour candle closure above this structure point, and wait for either a retest of the structure point or a possible higher low formation. Then we look for buying opportunities to the previous all-time highs for gold. And as you can see, the tensions we have currently around the world, investors will be more interested in safe havens like gold, and they would rather push their money into gold. So let's look out for the bullish side of things for gold for the coming week. This is silver. So silver too, we anticipated a possible pullback into any of these two areas of interest, and price has pulled back nicely into the area of interest. So going into next week, we'll just be looking forward to buying opportunities around this zone to the upside, to the previous all-time highs. So it's similar to gold. We are just looking for buying opportunities on silver and on gold. So let's look out for that. Let's look for buying opportunities within this zone. We take our buys to the upside for silver. So we are very bullish on silver too for the coming week. We also have here S&P500. So we missed out on this trade, also this position. So last week we got a structure shift. We were waiting for a daily candle closure below this daily structure here, and we got this daily this bearish candle closing below the daily structure, which broke it. So we were waiting for a possible pullback or a possible retest of the daily structure, or a possible pullback into the area of interest once again to give us selling opportunities. Price pulled back, and we didn't get a clear selling confirmation, but going into next week, we have this very clean head and shoulder formation right before us. So what we'll be looking out for is a possible pullback into this area of interest, or a possible retest of this neckline of this head and shoulder formation. So this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the right shoulder. So we are looking forward to a possible pullback to retest the neckline of the head and shoulder formation we have here, and then we'll look for selling opportunities to the downside. So all we're waiting for is a possible pullback to retest the neckline, and we look for selling opportunities to the downside for S&P500 for the coming week. And so should price also pull back a bit, so we are coming all the way here. So this will be our first TP and our second TP right here for S&P 500. Should we get a higher pullback a bit back into this zone, and we get selling opportunities, we'll still be interested in taking the sales to the downside for S&P 500. This can only shift bullish if we get price to buy to break above these daily 4-hour structures here, then we know that S&P 500 has now shifted bullish. So going into next week, we are very bearish on S&P 500, and this is also likely going to affect most of the indexes around the world. This is Russell 2000 or US 2000, and we have this nice bearish shift here. So going into next week, we are looking forward to a possible pullback into this very first area of interest to look for selling opportunities. So this first TP or the second TP we have below here. Should price pull back a bit higher to the second zone above, we'll be interested in taking the sells from there also to the downside. But if price buys or we get a buy momentum to break these daily structures here, then we know we are going bullish for US 2000 for the coming week. So for the last index for the week, we have Australia 200, and on a weekly perspective and a daily perspective, Australia 200 has shifted bearish. So